get some air in the tires. I haven't drove this old Ford Focus in forever. Ann and I have had it for a little while, and I used it when I was working. Anytime I'd work a long ways off after I'd get my trailer to the job, I'd take the Focus. So what we're doing today is heading to northern Missouri. Not all the way north, but we're heading north, and we're gonna go see if we can find some bean fields where some deer are at. And our first weekend, we're gonna go to a spot. And I've been to this place. I've hunted this spot last year. So this year, I'm going up there. I know where some fields are where farmers normally plant beans and corn. That's what my plan is. I'm gonna go and see if we can find some bean and some corn, and see if we can find some deer that are going out on that. Last year, I found one area that was really good. I found one area where there was quite a few bucks. I didn't see any giants, but it was in an area where there was quite a few bean fields where a farmer had planted that, of course, is public land. And so that's where I'm gonna head to that spot first. I'm gonna kind of scout it, but basically I'm going tonight just so I can glass and see if I can get a feel, or just do some scouting to see if I can find out where some deer are. And if I get lucky tonight at dark, maybe a buck might come out and I might be able to see it. Yeah, I'd like a number 14 with no onions or tomatoes, but everything else on it, and a large lemonade.
You said no onion, no tomato?
That's right.
And you said a large lemonade?
Yep.
Anything else?
That's it.
So it's me $6.79 at the first drive you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Who likes Steak and Shake? Finally made it. Just checking out several areas. Matter of fact, some of the places that I drove by had no corn in them from when they used to. So from last year there was corn in some of these fields, and now there wasn't. So I don't know how many of the fields they actually planted this year. I'm just hoping these spots where I went last year where they had it planted, I'm hoping that they planted them again. We're just gonna have to go check it out and see. All right, just made it to the property, and this is the first spot I'm gonna check. This ain't the main area that I wanna check, but there were some really good fields down here last time, and so I'm gonna walk down here and check them first and just see if there's any sign around them. Try that out first. It's a little bit of a walk. Gonna walk down here, try that, and then what I'm gonna do is basically just look for tracks to see if they've been in the beans or corn, whatever's back here, and make sure they're back here. This is a spot that's pretty close to the main area that I want to check, and I think this will be a close spot to where when the other guys come, this will be a place I can drop them off, and then we won't be too far apart. But we'll just have to go down here and look and see. But I know I made one mistake already once I first got here, and that is that I didn't bring any bug spray. So I'm probably going to get ate up. So we're going to head on down. Well, guys, this is one of the fields. As you can see by all this debris here, that the water, we had a really pretty good flood this year, and so it washed. You can see that the water got all the way to up here because all this wood and all this lumber, it pushed it clear back in here. And so none of this was all corn last year. There's no corn in here now, so there's no beans or anything planted. So that's going to kind of hurt it for here, because I'm definitely, for this first part of the season, definitely need to find some beans or corn that these deer are on. It'll be a lot easier hunting over that than trying to just find them somewhere else. And so it looks like this is not a good job here. Now the place that I hunted last year, there were some, it's a lot higher up off of the water. So I think that the farmer still plants stuff in there, but who knows. This field, of course, it was planted in corn last year. There's nothing in here at all this year, and you can see though where the deer had been in here a bunch when it was wet. There's a ton of tracks out there, but of course they're all old and everything's dried up now. It's been real dry lately, so it just hasn't been used very much. But this really don't look that good either. I mean, the one thing I like about this spot is there's a lot of timber on this one side, and so I really like this spot, but there's just nothing here for them to eat, except if they're just going to mill around in this grass here, which they could eat. But there's no actual beans or corn, so far haven't found any fields yet. I'm just hoping that the number one spot that I wanted to go has some beans in it, which last year it had a ton back there. Alright guys, I just got to the main spot that I wanted to go. As soon as I got out of the car, four does took off across the road. They were bedded just right here in this brush right here, and so that's a good sign. And I've already seen that the neighbor has a bunch of beans in there, so this is looking good. And I figured and I was hoping that there would be some in here, so I'm excited about that. I know this is going to be a good spot for the first weekend. So I'm going to start walking down this trail here and see if we can find some deer. So I've walked quite a ways around, got over to where I want to look. This is on public land and it's all corn, so but I want to drive around, or I'm going to keep walking around to this other edge and see if I can find any beans. All the neighbors is beans, so once I get up and around this corner and look at the rest of these fields, I'll be able to know more what I want to do for this evening, see if I can see any deer. Alright guys, I'm behind this hay bale because those turkeys are out here, but last time the main spot that the deer were coming out is over here where all this corn is, and last year it was beans. There's a really good thicket on the other side of that corn, and the deer would come out of that thicket into the beans last year, and so I was hoping that this was going to be in beans, but it's not, it's all in corn. So but I got lucky because I thought everything back here I've seen is all corn, and then right behind these turkeys over here is the beans, and so that's a really good sign. I think I'm gonna stick around close here somewhere and see if I can stick around close over here and see if I can see some deer come out in these beans here. That's what my plan is. The wind's been kind of changing back and forth, so I got to be careful. But it seems like it's decent right now. A while ago, I'm on the west side of it. The wind was blowing kind of out of the east a little bit, so hopefully the wind will switch a little bit here right now. Hide back here a little while, and then we'll see if we can spot a deer. I still got about an hour and a half before it gets dark. Alright guys, it's been about an hour. The sun's starting to go down. So I'm still sitting at this hay bale. The turkeys walked off, and now I'm fixing to sneak up and around and get a little closer to this field because there's a hump in it and the woods are on the other side. So I'm going to see if any deer are walking out on the other side. I should have seen some deer by now, so I'm shocked I haven't seen any. So I'm going to sneak around this edge and see if I can get over that, where I can see over the hump of that hill, see if I can see some deer. I don't know where those deer came from. Just a bunch of does. Man, that's aggravating. They must have slipped in from that other side and I didn't see them. I didn't even know they were out there. That was my fault. I should have been paying better attention. Since I spooked those deer, I'm going to sneak around and check this other field before I head back and before it gets too dark. Alright guys, I made it back to the car. So I'm a little disappointed because I didn't see any bucks, but one thing that's really good and the main reason I came down here is basically just to see if I could find where the beans were, where the corn was, and so we could kind of already have an idea where we could go. So the first day when we get down here, opening weekend of season, all of us guys at least will know this spot, where the beans are, where the corn is, and kind of what we need to do, and then we can find some other spots from here. So basically that just takes a whole day off of scouting. That's why I came here, and so I accomplished that with knowing this area better. And I seen 4 does, actually I seen 6 does, and no bucks, but I wish on that spot, the first spot where I spooked those does, I wish I would have seen those deer before, because I was just going from one hay bale to the other hay bale, and I was walking real slow, just going through there right next to the woods, and they were out there. I don't know where they came from or how they got out there. So, but that ruined that for me. A buck might have came out right at dark, but it was getting pretty close to dark. So now we know where these beans are. So here in 2 weeks we'll be back here, and we will see if we can find the buck. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because we're going to be coming out here and hunting, and you guys can follow along and see if we can kill us a nice buck here on public land in Missouri. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.